Alright, so let's talk about Dribbble. So as you can see, I'm in the main homepage and I can essentially see a whole lot of pictures, including some of mine. And if I click on the picture, I can see the entire element in of itself. And also I have some basic description. Now, my very best advice is if you're going to use Dribbble as the main way to get clients and to show off your work, is to not just add one single image in a project, but actually add multiple images. Now, the way you do it is essentially you find, as you can see here, if I click on this one, you can see that there are multiple images. So you have a higher chance to show off your problem solving skills and to kind of guide the user into a mini case study. And the way you see if a project has multiple images is by simply looking at the top icon on the left here. So you can essentially do that really easily. Now let's go on to my profile and I'm going to give you a brief overview and what to focus on in order to get clients with Dribbble. Now again, since Dribbble is not the main website which I use in order to show off my work, I am not really creating it all that much these days, and it's mainly to promote UI kits and other elements. So don't see my Dribbble as an example of a great Dribbble profile, but I definitely know how to create one, and since the basic elements are always going to be the same. So let's get started and let's talk about the very first section. So again, profile picture, you might want to add just the one that you have on LinkedIn, your name and surname. Over here we have what I refer to as vanity metrics. Employers don't really care about numbers of followers or followings or likes that your shots have, but a quick advice, if you do want to improve these metrics, the trial and the tested way to do so is to simply engage with the community. So post comments under other Dribbble shots and try to engage with other designers, like other shots, and this is going to enable you to get more exposure. But again, this is not what I recommend you to focus on. What you want to focus on is to communicate that you have the expertise needed for a client's project or for a job. So over here you can see that you have a must add image. So here I would add an image which most describes the type of work that you do. So my bulk of the work is creating dashboards. So over here I have a dashboard design, and those are also the type of clients that I want to attract mainly. So as you can see also over here, I have a bunch of different dashboard shots and things of that nature. But for the most part, they are organized in a way that is going to create some level of visual interest. And I create all of these shots in the design tools. So my very best recommendation is to create all of these shots in either Sketch, Figma, or Adobe XD, or whatever software you prefer using the most, and then add them to Dribbble directly. And also try to maintain a level of consistency between the styles in the shots. So for example, a good example of this is a student that I recently had a quick coaching call with, that is Mahadi. And I think he really nailed the style, since the visual design looks really good. And he also has quite a bit of visual variations going on, and his visual design skills are, generally speaking, are really good. So something around this line could be a really good example to keep in mind. Now if we click on upload, this is where the magic is going to happen. So as you can see over here, you have the ability to add up to 8 files, so up to 8 pictures, and you can essentially either drag and drop these pictures from the desktop, which is usually what I like to do. So I'm going to have one image here, and I can simply drag and drop it directly. As you can see, this is going to essentially upload and create this picture. Now, if I upload more than one picture, you're going to be able to see that they just stack up directly over here. And I can also move them around. I mean, they're the same, so you can't really see it, but you can easily drag and drop and move the image order around. Now, when it comes to the title, I would just title the portfolio item as something which is going to be descriptive of that item. And I would also use a few of these tags. As you can see, there are a few which are already suggested, so you might as well check the suggested ones. However, you can always add a specific one. As you can see, there are some other suggestions that come along as you type, and you can simply select the ones which are more suitable with your project. Now, if you go here on the project description, usually the main issue that the designers have over here is that they either don't put any description because they think it's all about the visual design, or the description is not really as relevant for the person who is going to read that description. So my best recommendation is to add the text and describe the problem that you try to solve, or that you solved better with that specific portfolio item. And don't make the description super short. I mean, it's not a thing to have like very long descriptions here on Dribbble. So my best recommendation is to guide them with both having text on the image and also just having like pure images with really good visuals. So you can create mini case studies since you have the ability to add up to 8 images, and essentially this is going to give you an edge over some of the other competitors right here, because you're going to enable to show that you're not just creating good visual designs, but you also have strong problem solving skills, which is something which is essential in order to get the higher paying jobs especially. And just generally speaking, it's just something which is really going to be useful when you're applying to job applications or projects. Now you can also add a download, a file to download. So for example, you can add the sketch file, the Figma file, the Adobe XD files, and you can add it to a specific set of projects. You can list an item for sale. Now on the settings, there's also not currently looking for feedback, the hide from my profile. I wouldn't check any of these in any cases. And yeah, that would be pretty much it when it comes to publishing. You can also schedule the shot, but again, wouldn't really do that unless I have a specific reason. And then you simply click on publish and you're going to publish your Dribbble shot. So again, Dribbble is a great place to showcase your work and also be discovered. And it's 100% free, so keep it in mind unless you want to upgrade to the pro version. But I would just start with the free one, and then the pro version is essentially your call. Now, one last thing which is quite important is to edit your profile and really make sure that all of the elements which you want to communicate to a potential employer are set. So for example, here, as we discussed in the beginning, you want to add a profile picture, name and surname, your location, and also a brief bio explaining what you do, what your benefits for a company to hire you, and also a call to action to contact you. Now, other things that you want to consider is adding the personal website if you have one, or another portfolio URL if you have one. And you can also set up some things like your Dribbble link, so try and keep it clean without all sorts of different numbers or nicknames. Just try and make it look professional, since you're likely going to send this link to a bunch of people. And you also want to sync in your social profiles. So for example, if you have I wouldn't really sync in the Facebook, but maybe Instagram. Well, it really depends on how you want to set it up. I would definitely sync up the LinkedIn. That's 100%. And then these other ones are optional, really. You can also set up email notifications, and these are all personal preferences. I don't have any specific tips or advice over here. Really depends on your personal preferences. Then we have the billing, but that's not really applicable in this case. You also have the invitations if you want to send over some invitations to other designers. And over here we have the different sessions in the application and data export. I wouldn't really mess around with these too much. So I would just keep it basic, and again, try to think about your ideal client and what he would like to see in your public profile on Dribbble. So this is pretty much it, and I'll see you in the next video.